look for tellable stories that are physically tellable, and from a plot point of view, that which is at least pliable.
Welcome back to the Life Plot Podcast with your host, Mario Benitez. This is Mario Benitez. If it wasn't, that'd probably be weird. This podcast is sponsored by Dominican calling cards. Get them at a bodega near you. $5 get you like 3,000 minutes to call DR. Do it up. So this week I want to talk about a couple things going on in world events, current affairs. I haven't in a while, and I guess that's because I've been doing video now with the podcast. And anytime you decide to put an opinion out there or speak on events, you split an audience, right? And I guess it's a good thing because I got no audience to split, so fuck it. Right now we got this conflict going on in Israel and Palestine, which is, it's hard to speak about, but it really isn't as well. This conflict's been going on for over a century now. And just if you look at the pure numbers, it is lopsided. And one side does look like it's bullying another. You see what recently happened when Israel attacking people at their mosque during Ramadan, which is like their most holiest day, holiest holiday. You have people encroaching on their, on their houses and kicking them out of their homes and shit. And to me, I think, what if that happened here, right? What if Canada came to New York and during my holiest time, the Puerto Rican Day Parade, they came and beat us up and shit, and then they come to the projects and shit and kick us out. I wouldn't know how to accept that. I don't think I would keep it calm, I think everybody would fight back, So this conflict, it's been going on for such a long time that I don't think there's any way out of it, right? I think it'll be happening years from now, just as it has, because you see Palestine has tried to negotiate and come to peace talks with Israel. That didn't work. They used violence, and that doesn't work. So what do you do with that region? That's something that I can't answer. I think many of us can't, just because it's so deep rooted. I will say this though, if you look at current history of the world, right, I do think there's one common denominator that's pushing this, and it's happening here in America. You see alt-right individuals, hating Jews, Asian hate crimes on the rise. You see what's going on in Colombia, in India, in UK, Israel, Palestine, and I think it's this right-wing push towards authoritarian regimes, and it continues to happen. There's this circle jerk of hate going on, right? Everybody getting off on hating one another. And I think it has something to do with the correlation of, violence, anger, and hate making more noise than peace and love. In America, we have a lot of peace. We don't have nobody throwing bombs at us except ourselves. But we don't have people fucking blowing us up. We don't have to worry about Canada trying to destroy us or Mexico. And we sometimes just, become victims of peace, which is insane to think about. And I think we need to start making that really loud. We need to start making, peacetime just as loud as fucking wartime. I don't know how you do that. It's another thing I don't have the answers, but I do think there's some truth to these things. And multiple truths to these things. And speaking about peace and love, that transitions into my guest today, which is my homie Lee Valentin. Lee Valentin is a stand-up comedian. He's 1/5 of the Unusual Culprits, which is my sketch writing team, and just an all-around good dude, man. I've had this guy on the podcast probably I think the most out of anybody, and it's because he gives me, like I say always, that uncle wisdom. When I'm fucking stressed out or looking at things wrong, he kind of could give me like some good philosophy to put me back on the path, which I always appreciate. And I think it was just a quick, funny conversation, So we start with this seriousness and end with some goofy shit, which is pretty much my life. So thank you for returning. And this is Lee Valentin. You're a retired prostitute, my dude.
Yeah.
Now that it's
for
legal,
for the right amount of money, I might.
He might come back.
I
So
might
sell it.
come out the year. I might
can do
sell
it
that
now,
Toto,
though.
kid.
Yo, do it, cat. Well, what's your price though? How many roses are? How many hugs and kisses?
150 roses
That's how much you get around.
for half hour. 150 for a half hour.
That's a decent price. That's a decent price. Yo, I got
100 for a quickie. You know,
15 minutes. 100 roses for 15 minutes. Yo, we giving it up cheap over here. 2 for 1 deal. 100 roses.
Overnight 650. That's what we doing.
Damn,
yeah.
650 for a night.
Yeah, for the overnight. That's
You high class, bro.
nah. That's too. That's not enough, bro. I be seeing some shit for 3 G's. I'm like, I need
3
to be.
G's, bro. We better be in Cancun.
Word.
You better cut my hair.
You gotta fly me out. Yeah.
You gotta treat me like a real lady, bro. You gotta treat me like a real little floozy.
Oh my god, yeah, that shit is funny. Are we rolling?
Yeah, we are rolling. This is the beginning of the podcast. That's exactly how it's gonna start.
That's fantastic. Yeah. All right, let me turn this shit off, man. That's fucking funny.
Watching the Knicks, right?
Yeah.
Yo, you're like my connection to the Knicks now.
Yeah.
Because I cut my cable off a long time ago.
Yeah.
So
I ain't gonna front, not to cut you off, but I haven't had cable in years, and I
Yeah.
just used my mother-in-law's fucking Optimum password to watch.
Yo, I gotta do the same shit, man.
Yeah.
Because I miss watching, like, now that they're getting decent again.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of fell off of that whole, Porzingis era. Like,
man.
after Melo and shit, I just stopped. I was like,
It's understandable though, man, because if you put so much time into it and they not winning,
yeah.
that's kind of deflating, man.
Dude, and all the teams I like it's heartbreaking. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a Mets fan.
Oof.
I'm a Knicks fan.
Oof.
Like, you know, abuse for years.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, for a long time.
For a long
you
time.
have flashes like 2013 for the Knicks, 2015
Yeah, like, oh my
for the
God, we
Mets.
gotta get something.
But then all that time you spend just watching just to fucking that
Deflated.
shit, yeah, that shit brings your mood down, bro.
Yo, it does though. I'm like, I just expect them to lose.
Yeah. That's
like,
a terrible thing to do, man. Like you spend 3 hours of your day
just to lose.
just to watch them fucking disappoint you.
That's like my life though. It's like,
even if you high, they fucking bring down your high. It's like, yeah.
dude, it's like, well, I don't even know who's like really leading that team now and shit. It's
Julius
like
Randle.
Randle, right?
Julius Randle is it, man.
And they're like they're on a good streak right now, right?
They're about to win 9.
9
They're
in a
about to
row,
win 9.
bro. I think that hasn't happened since like 81.
Yeah, nah,
Like,
actually it's 2013, right? So the last time they were good was 2013, 2014. That was Melo,
Yeah.
Kenyon Martin, Jason Kidd years, and they were nice. And then all of a sudden it was like slowly but surely they just bottomed out again, man.
Yeah.
After that, so this shit is exciting, man. I mean, it's good because the fans deserve it. Like they've been wanting it for so long, and they've been waiting.
And
like,
but they can't even have full fans, which sucks too.
Yeah.
They got like 3 motherfuckers like, let's go, dude.
yo, but that should be loud,
Yeah.
and you could feel like the energy, and the players enjoy it too, man. They like the little bit of crowd that's in there. So
Yeah. No, I think it makes it more real, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's like I've been watching Fight Sports, and Fight Sports.
are there
without a-
fans in it?
The first UFC card is tonight
Mm-hmm.
with fans. And
Wow.
but they haven't had fans for like the last year, and they've still been having like these championship fights.
Right.
So you see motherfuckers going in there, just real deal. It's 1-on-1.
Yeah.
You just hear their coaches, you know.
Yeah. And you hear the blood
Yeah,
splatter.
you hear
on
like
the mat.
fucking the blows and shit, and it's
Yeah.
like, to me, I think that's like, it's closer to just fighting than sport.
Right.
You know, it's like, yo, we going in there, we just gonna
Just
scrap.
right.
Yeah, it makes it more intense. You know, I think to me, it added something to sports.
Yeah, without the fans, right?
Yeah.
Because you're so focused on just the sport itself.
Yeah.
That's like, I wonder if the fighters feel like how I feel like getting back in the stand up, right?
Yeah.
Because we were doing it on Zoom shows, and the first thing I said when I got back on stage, I was like, it feels so good to be able to spit on people.
Yeah, just give them a little
You know
bit
what
of
I'm
that.
saying? Just
give them a little COVID.
I wonder if the fighters are like, yo, I would like to get my blood on somebody in the
Yeah.
audience. You know what I'm saying? That feels really good. It's good to be back.
I imagine that's how it is, but like, man, fighting gotta be different though, because you don't need the fans there. Like, you know.
That anxiety though, man, there's got to be like the butterflies before you go out there to fight.
Yeah.
And some of that might be nullified if there's people cheering for you.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're amped
You got your
instead
fans.
of,
You're like, oh, yeah.
Instead of,
it does give you a percentage. Yeah.
Or, I mean, you could be anxious, too, because you don't know. All these people are here for you. You don't know if you're going to get
knocked
your
out
ass
and shit.
and then you got to hear everybody tell you, nah, you did good. Like, no, motherfucker, I was
just
out cold. What you mean?
Yo, you took the best KO ever, motherfucker, dude. Yo, the way you hit that floor,
that was perfect, kid.
Yeah. Great highlight. And now you're the highlight reel for the next year. You just getting fucking knocked out.
Oh, man. Now you're a meme? Oh, man. That shit is terrible. Yo.
Becoming a meme through fights is terrible.
Yeah, that's not good. I said this on a tweet one time. When people fight and get knocked out, I don't make fun of them because I know what it's like to be punched in the face, right?
Yeah.
And I know what it's like to lose a fight. So I got respect for anybody who that shit is hard, yo.
Yeah, to be willing to put yourself on that line.
Yeah, that shit is difficult.
A lot of people, this is the thing though, a lot of people don't know what it is to fight, right? And like, we've scrapped coming from where we come from and shit. And like, I've been in fights with like the whole project's watching. Yeah. And like, now we're about to have a 1D. Everybody's watching.
Everybody, yeah.
And like, I've won some and I've lost some. So it's not the same as watching thousands of fans watching you as a professional. Right. But there is something there that like being willing to go into that fire. Yeah. And like, there's something there to that.
For a half hour. You're putting your body on the line for a half hour. You've had months and months of training. That's the hard shit. Yeah. But you come out, you're prepared for this fight for a half hour, and shit could be over in
2 seconds. Yeah.
In just under a minute, and it's fucking incredible.
I always wonder that about fighters, like when they come out and you just scorch a motherfucker. Like,
that's gotta be.
And it's like, it's gotta feel great, but it's also like, damn, you know how many push-ups I did?
The disappointment of winning a fight so quickly.
I just beat this motherfucker in like 10 seconds, bro. He didn't even land a punch. Like,
well, that's why dudes go on cocaine binges, because they need
some exhilaration.
They need some high. Yeah,
I need something.
That's such a letdown when a dude just fucking, you gonna fucking just give up like that? Like,
that's it.
Yeah, that's
what you came here for.
That's terrible, man. That's terrible. But shout out to the fighters, man.
Those are
that shit is incredible.
It's amazing what they could do. Like I said, just putting yourself on that line. Yeah. Doing it with a crowd that big. Yeah. Thousands of motherfuckers watching you.
Word. Millions sometimes.
Yeah, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And then you got to deal with motherfuckers on Twitter making fun of you, like it just be an egg.
Yeah, some egg talking wild shit. Like, if I was in there, I would have kicked him in his gut. And like, you ain't doing nothing.
You know what used to kill me is that I would watch fights with people and be like, throw your hands. Yeah. Keep your hands up. Like, motherfucker, have you ever tried to hold your hands up for 2 minutes and throw punches and fucking bob and weave from a motherfucker trying to fuck you up?
I'm giving you like a quick 25 seconds now until I'm winded and I'm tapping out. You got it, my man. You got it.
Yeah, word. I mean, street fights don't even last that long, man. Nah. 30 seconds tops and you're done. Yeah. So fucking these dudes are professional. You can't tell a dude to hold his hands up and fucking and throw hands when he's, that shit is taxing on your body.
Super taxing, bro. And like,
I don't get it.
Yeah, people talk so much shit, yo. I don't know why that is. Like, people just don't know about certain, like, I think about even comedy, like how people can shit on people, and it's like, yo, bro, you would never do this.
There's no repercussions. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why there should be, like, we're fighting for the wrong laws, right? Like, there should be a law that says you can't catch an assault charge if somebody talks shit about you on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, you ran should be allowed to run up on somebody for talking shit, smack the shit out of them, and then nothing happened. And then everybody would shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
But nobody has that. That's the truth of it. Nobody gets repercussions now for talking shit, bro. Not saying that there should be more violence, but there should be.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It's like, dude, I that's how I grew up. I knew I could test certain motherfuckers, or you just know.
You just can't talk shit to anybody, any old body, yeah.
And people don't realize that now. And now that protection of the keyboard, bro. Yeah. Motherfuckers just be behind there popping so much wild. And I just be like, yo, y'all bugging with this, bro. Word, the disrespect is like, how could you even allow this? If you run into somebody, you're going to have to pop it on them.
All it takes is one nerd with jiu-jitsu skills.
Yeah.
Because he
And
can
he'll just
find
hug
your
you to death.
he'll find your coordinates.
he'll fucking
He'll
hug
find
you.
your IP address.
Yeah.
He'll shut your whole internet down and then fuck you up in the process. That's all
Put
it
you in
takes.
one leg lock, and now you fucking done. I wish that happens. Like you can just send like the most nerdiest jujitsu motherfuckers on people.
Yeah.
Like yo, go beat up this dude. They've been talking shit on Dykeman.
Yeah. That's all you need, man. And dudes will stop. I think there was I don't know if it was Zab Judah. Zab is one of my favorite fighters ever.
Yeah.
One of my favorite people. But Zab Judah, I don't know if it was him or somebody else, that there's a video online of one of the fighters running up on somebody who was talking shit online about them.
Really?
It was almost like a prank, but he was kind of serious about it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it was just some random dude.
And he caught him.
And he ran up on him and was just like, yo, talk that shit you was talking about.
Yo,
Motherfucker was like, I don't know nothing about me.
That wasn't even me.
I gotta find that video, man. But yeah, that should be a thing, man.
Yeah.
That should be a thing.
There's been like, I remember Derek Lewis, a heavyweight UFC fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He had a video. I think he knocked out some random like amateur boxer that was talking shit about him.
Really?
And he challenged him. He caught him in the gym.
Wow.
Went in the ring with him and beat the shit out of him.
Wow.
It was.
That's
he
great.
was like, yo, and the dude wasn't. I think he was actually like boxing, so he had some training.
Right.
So it wasn't like abuse.
Right.
But like even that, you can't. You ain't shit, and you.
That's the thing.
You talking crap to real professionals.
Yeah, you've sparred maybe a couple of rounds, and all of a sudden you think that you can talk shit.
That's that whole like this whole Jake Paul YouTube shit. Even though that dude, he can fight, but he's not fighting boxers.
Right.
Like you can't call yourself a boxer if you ain't fighting boxers, bro. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I feel some kind of way about that because I think it's kind of cool.
It is cool, but you don't be that cocky. You can't go in there with a dude your size. If you do a Terrence Bud Crawford at him, who's smaller than him still,
right?
Or Errol Spence, I'm talking about these guys giving up 50 pounds.
Yes.
They're gonna destroy that guy.
Yes.
And bad.
Javante Tank Davis.
And he's like he's giving up like 60, 70 pounds.
Yeah.
And he will hurt you with. Throw a Canelo at that dude.
Oh no!
Canelo
would be unfair.
kill him with a body shot.
Yeah, that would be unfair.
It's like, yo, with one body shot, Canelo's gonna make him throw up his fucking whole YouTube career.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like, I get it though. That this is the era we live in. Like, being like a troll and like hyping shit up and talking shit.
Right.
That gets a lot more love, and I understand that you want to get the attention anyway. And if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do, right? But. And you can't. And that kid, he's actually really training. That's what people slept on.
That's
him.
the thing. Yeah.
I respect that as fuck. Like he's really trying to do it.
Right.
But pick the lane. Don't call yourself. Don't just start talking shit to Canelo and shit.
Right. You like the humility.
Yeah.
You like people who are fucking humble and just like stay in your lane and shit like that.
Yeah. You know how much more respect he would get if he was fucking just saying like, yeah, I'm gonna go in there and test my.
But that would be so boring though.
Nah, but it wouldn't be. I think you would have people watching it like. It would build up bigger fights.
This might be something where people start to love Mayweather. Yeah. Right? Because he's quiet. He's not saying, he's not in the public eye. And let this guy, Jake Paul, do all the talking and talk shit and people hate him. And that could be something that Mayweather's like, you know what? This will bring me to, this will bring me to the stratosphere because they can forget about everything that I've done in the past.
It made people like the UFC fighter, Ben Askren. I think.
You think so?
Yeah, cause
how did that even he knocked him out like in the first.
Yeah, but Ben Askren
seconds.
was like, if you watched like his career, he was a sole like practitioner of wrestling.
Right. Oh, okay.
And
he was a wrestler. Yeah.
All of his mixed martial arts fights. That's what he was highly known for, not mixing the martial arts.
Right.
He was just a wrestler.
Right.
He'd go in there and fight jiu-jitsu dudes. Muay Thai fighters and everybody who had different backgrounds and just use wrestling and take them down and beat the shit out of them. Now that man is still a badder man than Jake Paul. You put that man in a street fight.
Oh, it's different story. Yeah.
He's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
He's gonna slam you on your head.
When you have rules, it's a different ballgame.
But if you put him in a mixed martial arts championship or fight with a motherfucker, he's gonna destroy Jake Paul.
Right. It's why Mayweather wouldn't go in the ring with.
Yeah.
Right.
With the.
Bless you. Thank you. Sorry, my allergies, yo.
No worries. I suffer from shit too. But yeah, there's a respect level there. Like you gotta know. Even like Tyson Fury, he's like, if it's just a street fight, a motherfucker, Francis Ngannou or fucking a heavyweight UFC fighter is gonna put it on you if it's just a street fight.
Right. Well, I mean, you got to get to him first too, right?
Yeah, like you do. But I think with just one fucking leg kick, you're probably gonna fucking hurt that man.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's still a chance that puncher shot, right? That's in every fight.
Right.
Like, but ultimately, you got too many weapons to throw at. It's too many trained, sharpened tools to throw at just somebody with one super sharp fucking jiu-jitsu sword, jiu-jitsu blade.
Yeah, because sometimes you
ninjutsu
can take somebody down and they won't know what to do once they get on their back.
Yeah.
They're done.
Yeah, and that's it. And now you pounding their fucking face. You put your nuts in their face and fucking pound them the fuck out. And you're like, oh, stop. Tapping out. And there's nothing you could do.
Yeah.
There's just nothing. But like, and it's the same. You got to have respect both ways.
Right.
When it comes to the hands, respect these boxers,
Of course.
Those boxers hit different, bro.
Yeah.
Those boxers hit different,
use
bro.
Fundamentals and shit like that.
Bro, they hit different.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, I even laughed when I heard people trying to say that the UFC heavyweight should box the Tyson Fury. So Francis, I'm like, yo, don't do that.
Well, Francis has hands though.
Don't do that. Tyson Fury is no joke, bro.
No, he's a great fighter.
He will jab the shit. He'll just knock him out with jabs.
It would be a boring fight though.
Yeah, look what he did to Deontay Wilder. And you discrediting this. Deontay Wilder's hand power is vicious, bro.
Yeah.
And that second fight was not even a contest.
Yeah.
Ngannou will look worse. He's gonna look worse than Tyson Fury. I mean, Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There's just no. It's the same thing. You put Tyson Fury in the UFC cage. Yeah. Ngannou's gonna destroy that man.
As soon as he gets one takedown, as soon as he gets a leg kick,
just get a head kick to the fucking.
Yeah.
You're gonna be expecting a jab. Now you got 10 toes to your fucking mouth.
Yeah, now you got a reverse elbow coming at you.
You got 10 African toes laying you out from the motherland.
You got toe prints on the side of your face.
Yeah, you gotta be careful, man.
Oh man.
Yo, how's been returning to comedy and shit,
crazy,
man?
Awful. Nah, it's great. I love it, man. I love it. You know what's awful about it is that I didn't prepare for it.
Yeah.
And that's the bad part. Like, you see people who come back and you listen to them and they seem sharp, or, you know, they've written a whole bunch. Like, I was talking to Scotty Lavelle last night, and he was like, yeah, I just took the whole break. You know, I was just listening to my favorites and using that as inspiration and writing every day. I got notebooks and notebooks and notebooks, and I'll never get to that stuff. And I was like, I haven't written one joke in fucking months. And so that part is disappointing. But you know what? It feels good to just be back out there. Now the juices are starting to flow again.
You kind of had to, like, so I had written over the time, but it's like how I was formulating my material mostly was trying to get it on stage. You know, always throwing the ideas on stage.
Right.
And then like getting that taken away. And even with the Zoom shows, it was really hard to like to like chisel through Zoom, you know?
Yeah.
Like I just didn't want to sacrifice sometimes.
Right.
Because I'm like, man, this is gonna be even worse than what it already is.
Even those shows were far and few between.
Yeah.
We were getting up every day.
Yeah, no, that's
sometimes 3-4 times a day.
And it was like that compared to once every couple
other
weeks.
Month. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, you have that idea, and now you're like, okay, I got something from this. Now let me go to the next place and try it.
Yeah.
You don't have that with a Zoom show. It's just you in the room talking to the fish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're not. There's no reaction. So it's almost like, what am I going to do with this? Why am I doing this?
Why?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you felt that, like, coming back, was this time off, like, kind of like reshaping your vision on life, sort of, like what your priorities were? Yeah,
I think so. I learned some new things. I did some classes on different things, and, you know, started reading a lot more, and, you know, worrying about finances more and stuff like that. So it helped me be more well-rounded, I guess.
Yeah.
And because before it was just grind, right? You just go through the motions, you're on stage every day, and now you have all this free time, and you're like, what am I going to do with this? And it completely took me away from comedy. For a minute, I was like, do I even need to do comedy anymore. I don't need it. And coming back, I'm like, no, I do need this.
Yeah, that's how you feel?
Yeah.
I think about that because to me, you're a little more situated in life.
Yeah.
Meaning,
I
like,
guess.
Me, I don't...
That's not necessarily a good thing, though.
I think it is.
It's not.
I guess it's always...
perspective.
It's perspective. It looks good to the opposite, and it's like vice versa.
Right.
Somebody wishes they were more free if they were stuck with, like, different priorities and different fucking responsibilities.
Yeah.
But then, like, I look at the reverse of it, and I'm like, yo, I kind of wish I had this more stable life, and, like...
In fairness, you're right. So pre-pandemic, it was like, God damn it, I wish I could be out there all the time and maybe trying to go on the road and do all of these things. During the pandemic, it was the greatest thing that has ever happened, right? Being married, getting married right before the pandemic, having a home and
building this new...
Yeah, it was the best decision my wife has ever made for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So in that respect, yes, it was like, oh man, this is great. But now that this shit is coming back, it's like, if and when we get back to normal, I'm like appreciative of that. But I'm like, no, I gotta get out there and do this shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
do you think your goals changed?
In terms of comedy?
Yeah, I guess in life too.
No. They pretty much stayed the same. In terms of comedy, it's like I'm gonna do this forever. So it's not as important to get up, because we were talking about getting up 300, 400 times
a year,
right?
Yeah.
And that was a goal. And then after you get into this, I'm just happy to be doing it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Part of it.
I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy for whatever it is that I get, and it's no longer, I don't have to. So yeah, my goals did change. I don't have to get up 400 times. Yeah. Getting up once or twice, a month is good enough for me now.
I felt like returning. I felt like it's weird. So throughout the whole pandemic, I think my 2019, that year I personally had in my life with what I was going through with shit, which was like, I got taken away because of the surgeries and shit.
Yeah.
So I had this time where I was just stuck in bed.
Face down.
Yeah, which is like, it felt...
No hose.
Yeah. No hose. Dude, nothing, bro. Couldn't even beat the meat. I was there beating the meat. Fucking at weird angles because I couldn't look up. So I'm there now fucking like a vampire jerking off. Like,
Matt, bring me the 4 gig.
4 gig fucking hard driving porn. It was just tough, bro. So like... But I felt like that 2019... prepared me for 2020. So when it happened and then the world stopped, because I felt like when I had the surgeries and shit, my world stopped while the world was going on. Right. So it felt a little more like depressing to me, because I was like, man,
you feel like you're the only one that's not.
Yeah, and then 2020 hit and this pandemic hit and everybody was going through it. So I started feeling like, all right. I was ready for this. Like, I could be, at least I'm home. I could stand up. Right. I could regular beat my meat. Yeah. Hit it on the chair again. I had to go different positions, backhanded. But,
goodness.
Yeah, so, like, that shit prepared me. And then, like, towards the ending, like, when things were starting, like, normality was starting to come back these last couple of months and still going forward, I feel like it finally caught up to me. Where I feel like, oh, man, like, I started looking at like my past almost. Like I felt like there was always a wall that hit me. Like it hit me with a band years ago, right? Like I hit this point where I was supposed to blast off in this world and getting on big ass shows and shit.
Right.
And then it was so abruptly shut down. And then this shit, it was like finally I was getting on festivals and people were booking me. Like I was getting booked constantly and just starting.
Right.
So I knew that after the next year of just starting to get booked a lot and becoming regulars in places and shit, that the following year was just going to get better to me in my head.
Right.
So I felt like it finally caught up that like these walls keep happening, and then returning now, I feel like I'm just totally back at the bottom.
No, you know what? You might feel like you're starting back at the bottom, but sometimes people ask you, would you rather be 10 years old with the wisdom that you have now, right? So you have the wisdom of 5, 4, whatever it is, years in comedy. and you might be starting anew, but you're starting anew with the 5 years already under your belt.
Yeah, that
you know what I'm saying?
Works. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Material,
right?
Minutes of material,
Right.
Yeah.
So even though you feel like you've been set back, you have the tools to get ahead faster.
Yeah.
And remember, everybody's starting at the same point.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's been a couple of people who just never stopped.
Yeah.
But we can't
really
concern ourselves with that, right? No. It's just how we change or how we think going forward. So that's really all it is, man.
Yeah. It's that's true, you know. I guess it's just like I get conflicted with what I went through before. So I see
you bring a lot of that into
you hear it,
yeah.
You know it, it even gets my temper hot sometimes. It is like I don't like being that guy.
But I'm glad you share though, because we're able to understand and we're able to talk you down. You know what I'm saying? Like talk you off a ledge, and not the proverbial ledge, but it's
real ledges too.
Because we understand, right? That's the thing about, and I forget who I was telling this, but that's the thing about us coming together as a group. It's like we're growing together. We have the same experiences, right? Like I have a wife, but if I told her that I was having a hard time with comedy or whatever, she'd be like, "Oh no, it's all right, honey." And I'm like,
she
"No,
the
fuck, it's not all right." Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then, I have you guys to bounce stuff off of, and we're going through the same thing, so we understand. So that's the good thing about our group. So I'm glad you share, because we're going through it too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we're experiencing the same thoughts and fucking, depression, so to speak, that you have.
Yeah, I just hate getting into those slumps, because like I get into them and it just be like, it doesn't seep into other parts of my life, I think, because I can't separate it. Like, I don't treat nobody like shit if I'm stressed out with anything personal.
You close down, though.
I do close down.
Yeah.
And, like, I do kind of, like, put myself away from things or get quiet, which is weird for me because I'm a fucking goofy, loud motherfucker.
We're similar in that way, too.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. You start to get into your own head, a little bit of negative self-talk, a little bit of frustration. And the frustration is not with anybody else. The frustration is with you.
Internalized.
Yeah. We have these expectations, right? That if we don't meet them, we start beating ourselves up. You know what I'm saying? And people might see that we're frustrated, and it has nothing to do with anyone else. It's me not meeting my own expectations.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, and I want you to think about this, is that you don't put those expectations on other people. You're like, yo, be you, do what you're going to do. I want to see you do well. I believe in you, whatever. But you don't have that same reaction to yourself.
Never.
You got to be more kind to yourself.
It's
That's
hard.
the challenge.
That is the challenge.
That's your challenge, right?
Yeah.
You got to be more kind to yourself.
It's hard though, man. When you want to you think these, and I guess you hear it all the time. You think these goals, meeting these goals, are gonna
validate you,
or shape in your own personal happiness, and they sometimes don't. It's like I always told you, like how many times have you killed at a show, and you feel like the man in that room, and then when you go on that train, you ain't shit, papa. You get into a fight with a fucking homeless motherfucker. He stabs you with a needle now. You don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Nobody cares, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the approach that we have to take. Nobody cares. Just enjoy it in the moment, and when it's all done, you just prepare to do it again
just
another
grind
day.
It out, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting the future from now. Do you think you think things are gonna be better for at least a couple of years now, or like how do you think people are gonna look at each other now? I feel like you would think this time having to be away from others and shit, it would formulate maybe like a more solid unity.
I loved being in the pandemic, man.
Yeah.
Don't have to see nobody. Don't have to. You don't even need an excuse anymore.
Yeah,
people don't invite you nowhere.
I'm not comfortable, COVID. I'm going to use that shit in 2029. COVID-19.
I'm still not vaxxed to be.
That shit was 11 years ago. But listen, I'm telling you, I'm scared.
Yeah, so is it going to be better? For everybody else, I hope so. But this shit was fantastic to me. Oh, man.
Yeah, I wish my personal gripes with it, like, I kept working. I didn't get an extra day off. I didn't get an extra dollar.
That sucks.
And it was like, me, I'm heavily into politics and shit. And I see just how the working man gets fucked left and right.
Yeah.
Niggas didn't give me an extra $1, bro. And I'm here picking up motherfuckers' garbage
That's
and
crazy.
shit.
That's
And I was
crazy.
like, not a bonus, not nothing. And then the tips a motherfucker usually got were less while I was doing more work.
Right.
So it made me frustrated. You know how I talk about the system as is.
Yeah.
Like, I see it for what it is ultimately, you know? From this outside perspective. I never like being caught up in the machine, so to say. Being a cog and then shit. Even though we all got to do it. We got to make, I always say, survival tickets.
Survival tickets, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we need them shits. We need money and shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, I see that shit and it made me look at it. It solidified my thoughts and beliefs about it even more. That I'm like, at any moment, with any job, I'm like, suck my dick. And it's like, it'll never be to the people I work with, but it'll be to the system.
Right.
Because I always know, like, if I die today, Monday my position will be open.
Yes.
And somebody else will be doing it.
Yes.
And it's just like, and I just saw it. I saw it happen. And I was like, yo, you guys don't give a fuck. The system don't give a fuck.
You had a guy
Nobody
that
cares.
died, right? You had a guy that died on the job, or?
Oh, well, I know 3 people that died from my old job.
Okay.
And then I do know a couple other people that passed away throughout this whole shit.
Right.
And I just looked at, like, and even at my job, like, when people were catching it and shit, how people were just nonchalant about it. And I'm like, yo, you playing around with motherfuckers' lives, you know? And it's like,
Business has to go on, man.
yeah. And to me, I'm like, yeah, my business is going to go on.
Right.
Fuck you.
That's the thing, is that now you start to think about, all right, what is it that I'm going to do that's going to change my position in the, you know, I want to be a different cog
Yeah.
in the wheel, you know what I'm saying? And how can I do that? And that could be frustrating too, because you're like,
Sometimes you don't know the way out.
You don't.
And I don't, in my head, I used to think comedy was my way out because I feel like that's what I should be doing. I feel like I got something to offer when I speak, which is kind of delusional in some sense. It's very,
You know, you have to be kind of delusional to be good at anything, and especially in comedy, you have to be a little bit delusional to set yourself apart.
Yeah.
From everybody else, because people like being normal. They like doing the normal thing. They like doing the thing that just has been done in the past and nobody's willing to change. So you got to be out of your fucking mind to think that you can get up on stage, make people laugh, and earn a living from that. You know what I'm saying? And it's a great thing. You know what I'm saying? It's great to be able to do that. And, you know, but you can't get bogged down in thinking that it's delusional, because it is.
Yeah.
Right. And you have to be delusional. That's the point. You have to be fucking out of your mind to not go to work every day and just fucking come home at 10 o'clock at night, turn on the TV, watch the news, go to bed and do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? That's not a fucking life. You know what I'm saying? That's not a life that anybody should live.
And it's wild that, like, for so long that was the goal. You know, I think that was a societal goal, right? To maintain, and I guess that's us getting caught in the freedom of the future, I guess.
Yeah.
You know how, like, as more machines start to take over and everything, your time should become more free. You know, and the way we look at earning survival tickets has to transition.
It does.
Because it's not going to make sense 30, 40 years from now.
Well, we have to figure out what you can offer to people.
Exactly.
You know.
And I think more of, I think the artist is like kind of like the job of the future, which sounds crazy, but it's, I just don't think, like, when machines take over, you're going to want machines working for you. They don't get tired. They don't fucking ask for more money. You don't got to pay them no more. It's like, and that's coming.
Right.
All that shit is coming.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like,
I think you have to, the thing is that the machines don't have the emotion, or, you know, people like connection, right? You can't have a connection with a machine, right? You can have a connection with people, right? Emotionally, because we both have emotions. The machine you can't really connect with.
No.
So you have to figure out what you can offer to people, you know what I'm saying, that they're willing to pay for, basically.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can have a machine fix your plumbing, but can you have a person fix your plumbing, and who you can talk with about science or dreams, or you know what I'm saying?
With.
Yeah, connect with. So you say art, but I also say, like, something that you can do that's very specific, like, you know, a task. Like, before the industrial age, there was, and I'm gonna sound real dumb, but before the industrial age, you had, people who did one specific task.
Yeah.
There was a dude who was a blacksmith.
Yeah.
Or there was a dude who
making
crafted
swords
shoes.
and shit,
yeah, exactly. So it's gonna get back to that, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you good at specifically?
Bartering and shit.
Yeah. What are you good at specifically that you can offer the people?
I'm gonna be a fucking jester or some shit. The king's fool. Come on, John.
Yeah, but you just find out what it is that you can offer people and fucking just do that.
And just do that. Yeah. The hobby will become more of your fucking life.
Your job.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. What's your plans for the future, man?
To become a fucking robot.
I got the vaccines. I'm already doing it.
Now like we was talking about earlier, prostitution is legal, so anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Yo, 150 roses right now, all night. Holla at me. You get this toto for free. You get this shit for 150 hugs and kisses.
200 kisses for a half hour. No, that shit is hilarious though. But what do I want to do in the future? Just fucking, I just keep doing the same thing. You can't predict the future. All you can do is just fucking, you hope. You can't predict, but you can hope and dream, right? Or you can kind of like wish for shit. And I'm not I guess I've become a big believer of like the universe, right? Like you put shit out there and, eventually it's going to come back to you. The law of attraction, whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
I'm a believer.
Karma and shit.
Yeah. So just put more good out into the world. I like uplifting people and seeing people do well. You know what I'm saying? And I like to see other people succeed. So more of that.
Yeah.
And I want to bring happiness to people.
The helping hand.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I want to do that because I lack so much of that in my, like I have that inner turmoil, same as you, right? Like I have all these things and it helps me when I see other people doing well.
Yeah.
Who are close to me. You know what I'm saying? So it helps me not get so down. So I want to give more of that.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. That's like a goal of mine too. I like motivating motherfuckers. You know? Especially my circle.
Yeah.
Try to talk them up to their, their skills and like.
Yeah, because selfishly, it's motivating. It's for me.
It's a talk to myself.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I put out these tweets every morning, and people love that shit. Like these.
But it's trying to remind yourself.
Yeah, it's for me, really. Yeah. And people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm going through that too. Let me just fucking." But yeah, it's mostly for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm tweeting like, "Don't fucking, don't your step 1 is not. Don't compare it to somebody else's step 10." You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it hit for me because I was like, well, this guy's doing this and that guy's doing that. And I'm like, well, I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? Or what didn't I do enough of? And I'm like, no, wait. You're on the right path. You're doing the right thing. Just have action.
Respect your own journey, huh?
Yeah. That just have action, right?
Yeah.
The only time I can get down on myself is if I have inaction. But as long as I have action, then everything else will take care of itself.
Amen to that.
You know what I'm saying?
Actually, I think I'm going to cut this one right there, man.
You might have to put this at the end.
We're about to go fucking prostitute ourselves. Remember?
2
for 1. 300 roses for 15 minutes for both of us.
By the way, my wife is never going to hear this, but she hates when I say that word.
Toto?
And I crack up every time I say the word.
It's a funny word.
Yeah.
Toto is way better than like, I don't like twat.
Nah, I don't like that. That's
like,
a disgusting.
Sounds like a monster.
Yeah, that's such a disgusting word.
It's my twat. It's my twat. You're selling this twat.
Or I learned this from my Dominican peoples. They would say la creta, which is
creta.
Yeah, so it's like the la creta. I believe is like the little thing on the chicken's head. That little red thing.
Oh, the red thing. Okay.
Yeah, and it looks like the lips on a. Anyway, so that's right.
Yo, 150 cretas right now. Yo, thanks for doing this, Lee.
I appreciate you, man.
Always fun, man.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm the third. This is my third time, man.
This is your third time.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You've had some hitters on here. I don't know why you hustle backwards, but you.
I come back to the roots, bro.
I appreciate
come back
that,
to the
though.
base. Yo, thank you for listening. That was Lee Valentin. Peace.
Peace.
I look for tellable stories that are physically tellable and from a plot point of view, that which is at least pliable.